Adobe Illustrator Classroom in Books, Chapter 5, Part B. We're starting with constraining lines on 145 in your book. Make sure now that you're on Artboard 2. We're going to there, so double click on Artboard 2 in your Artboard panel or select Artboard 2 from the Artboard navigation at the bottom. And we're going to be working on in the work area on there. In previous lessons, you learned that using the Shift key and Smart Guides in combination with shape tools constrain the shape of objects. The Shift key and the Smart Guides can also constrain your paths that are drawn with the pen tool to create paths with angles of 45 degrees. Next, we're going to learn how to draw straight lines and constrain the angles as we draw. So again, be on Artboard number 2. And we're going to turn our Smart Guides back on. We had them off earlier, so go back up to View, to Guides, or to Smart Guides, and just select that, and that's going to turn the Smart Guides back on again. Again, pick up your pen tool, and we're working in the work area on Artboard number 2. You want to click on the blue Start box to set your first anchor point. Now, if the Smart Guides try to snap the anchor point to another area, it can make it difficult to click directly on the start square. This is expected behavior. That's why sometimes we have to turn the Smart Guides off when we're drawing. But if you're close to that point, it's going to be just fine. Now, sliding over, just guiding your pen over to the right of the original anchor point, you want to get approximately 1.5 inches with your measurement label, and it doesn't have to be exact, but you're going to see the green line, the alignment guide that's appearing when the pointer is vertically aligned with the previous anchor point. So at approximately 1.5 inches, you are going to click again. Now, as we've learned in previous lessons, the measurement label and the align guides are part of the Smart Guides. When you're working with the pen tool, you can get finer measurements in the measurement labels when you zoom in. So we're pretty good where we are. If we zoomed in any farther, you wouldn't be able to see what you're drawing, the example up above of what we're drawing. Now, we're going to add 3 more points following the same generic shape that is on the top half. So we're going to just kind of drop down a little ways, make sure you're going straight, and ignore if it says intersect. You don't have to do that, but just draw down a ways and click, and you're staying straight because your alignment guides are showing. In fact, you can line up with using the alignment guides. It's going to line you up with the drawing right above it, and you're going to click again to the right, and you can go straight up, and you'll see the alignment guide come in as you are aligning and intersecting, and you'll be able to pick how close you are. You can see a little bit of an angle and get back in alignment with the first lines that you drew. Click again, and sometimes they're helpful, sometimes they align you to content that you don't want to align to. So you just kind of have to pick and choose. With your Shift key, you're going to hold your Shift key down now and use the pointer to go down and to the right. And you can align with the dots up there. And if you notice, theirs aren't exactly lined up perfect either. But you can get a nice 45-degree angle, and you click, and then you release your Shift key. Now, the new anchor point may not be exactly where you clicked. If you clicked off to the side, I'm going to undo, and I'm going to do that over again. Oh, come on, undo. There it is. So how did I get that? I need to go back up and click on my pen tool again. And picking up on this anchor point, if I'm not holding my Shift key, this is where I can click anywhere on this line. Holding my Shift key down, that anchor point is going to come to the closest, it's going to stay close to where my pen tool is, but it's going to jump to that 45-degree angle. If I want it in perfect alignment, I need to drag my pen tool down. And then I can click when I get the alignment guides. And again, I'm going to drag down a ways and click to get my last point. Again, I'm stuck with this rubber band that I really don't want, so I have a choice. I can select my control button and click to the side, which is going to release me from that. If you're not comfortable with the control key, go up, just click up on select and deselect, and that's going to close that for you. And you have a nice shape. Looks a lot like the one up above. So save this. You can do Control S to save, or you can go to File and Save, and you're going to save the piece that you just did. I just drew an anchor point I didn't want, so I'm going to Control Z to undo that. Let me next, we're going to work on the curved paths. So we are going to move to the third artboard. I'm going to select artboard number 3, double click on that to bring my third artboard into view. We're going to learn how to draw smooth curved lines with the pen tool. In vector drawing applications like Illustrator, you draw a curve called a Bezier curve with anchor points and direction handles. By setting the anchor points and dragging the direction handles, you can define the shape of the curve. This type of anchor point with direction handles is called a smooth point. Drawing curves this way can sometimes take a while to learn, but this is how you're going to get the greatest control and flexibility creating your paths. First, you're going to get a feel for how to create a curved path. The goal for this exercise is not to create anything specific, but it's to get you used to the feeling of creating Bezier curves. So we're going to turn off those smart guides. So go up to View and click on Smart Guides to deselect it. And we're in artboard number 3, and we're going to draw in the practice area. Now, you can control or you can hit the letter Z, which is going to bring up your zoom tool and bring up that section so that you can see this area a little bit better. It's going to give you a little bit better control. If you use your after you do that, you use your smart guide. You're going to pull down. You can get your smart guide. You can use your space bar. You're going to get the hand, and you can center what you're doing in the window a little bit better. Go back again to pick up your pen tool, or you can use the shortcut keyboard, which is the P, and just press P, and you will bring up the pen tool. Now, with the pen tool, again, make sure that you still are drawing with a black outline and one point and no fill, because the fill will get you confused. And you're going to click in somewhere. You can just click anywhere on the artboard to create a starting anchor point. Move the pointer away from the original point you created. Okay? Click, hold, and drag away to create a curved path. As you drag away from the point, your direction handles come up. The direction handles, these things, consist of direction lines that end in round direction points. I know it's round, but it's called a point. The angle and the length of the direction handles determine the shape and size of the curve. Direction handles don't print. They're not visible when the anchor point is inactive. Move the pointer away from the anchor point, and you're going to get the rubber band. Notice this time it's curved instead of straight. Move the pointer around a bit, and you're going to see how that changes. Continue clicking and dragging in different directions to create a series of points. Deselect by going up to Select, Deselect, or using the Control key and clicking to the side. Now, leave this open, but you probably want to save before you do anything else. As you draw, you create a line that's called a path. A path is made up of one or more straight or curved segments. The beginning point and end point of each segment is going to be marked with an anchor point. These work like pins that are holding a wire in place. A path can be closed, like a circle or a square, or they can be open, which is a wavy line, and it will have distinct endpoints. You can change the shape of any path by dragging its anchor point. The direction points at the end of the direction line that appear at an anchor point is going to change the shape or the path segment itself. Paths can have two kinds of anchor points, corner points and smooth points. At a corner point, the path, it makes a sharp turn. At a smooth point, it's a continuous curve. You can draw a point or a path using any combination of corner and smooth points. If you draw with the wrong kind of point, you know what? You can change it. So the next part of this lesson, we're going to learn to trace the curved shape with the pen tool. So now we're back on the practice board again, and you should have your pen tool selected. So click on the start point, and it says to up to the gold. Oh, we need to do on the start. Sorry, let me undo the point I just drew. So start and drag straight up, which is going to set the direction of our curve, which we weren't doing in the practice. Okay, click. Now see how it's already going up? And now click and drag down. And you just created a lovely Bezier curve that has nice proportion to it. So you click and drag. Let me end this and I'll do another one. Okay, I did my control key and click to the side. So if I click and drag straight up, I'm setting the direction of my curve. Click to the side and drag straight down, and I'm getting that nice curved line. So you get the direction line going in the same direction as your path, and then you click to the right side, drag straight down, or you could go in the opposite direction. Release the mouse button when the pointer reaches the gold dot in the path you were creating. We did that over here. If the path you created is not aligned exactly with the template, select the direct selection tool, select the anchor point one at a time to show the direction, and you can adjust the direction handle. So let me click off to the side here, holding down my control key and clicking. I can pick up my direct selection tool, click on the anchor point, and I can make adjustments by selecting the direction line, and I can pull this in any direction that I need to make an adjustment. If I move this over, it's going to automatically adjust to the width, and if I need to make an adjustment to my line, I can drag it. If I want to go taller with it, I should be able to make that correction by dragging up here. Click on this, drag this direction line, and I can make a taller curve on this side. If I want to make it taller to match on the other side, click on here, grab the direction line and pull, and I can change my curve. Everything's editable. Click to select an area with no objects and deselect, and now you could draw another new point, but save at this point.